From Lithuania, this is World Questions from the BBC World Service. This former Soviet republic has been described as NATO's front line. 3 years after the start of the war in Ukraine, and with a new president in the White House, is its security guaranteed? Tucked into the northeast corner of Europe, this nearly 3 million strong nation has known much pain, repeatedly invaded and occupied over the centuries. But it emerged from the ruins of the Soviet Union, a proud independent state with a rich culture and history to build flourishing industries and services. There are questions, old and new, at play here. Why, when its young people say they're some of the happiest in the world, do so many of them leave for other nations? How can a small nation stand its ground against possible aggression from Russia, an enemy of old? Russia to the east, to the south, war in Ukraine, and over the water, President Trump challenges the alliances that have kept Lithuania in peace and security. We're at the rebuilt palace of the Grand Dukes of Lithuania, once the home of the rulers of this country and the seat of government, now host to our panel of political leaders who will soon face questions from the audience here. On our panel, Ingrida Šimonytė. Until the elections at the end of last year, the Prime Minister of Lithuania, she continues as a Member of Parliament for the Homeland Union Christian Democrats. Ignas Vėgėlė ran as a candidate of the right for the presidency last year. He's an MP for the Farmers and Greens Union. Andrius Tapinas is a TV journalist, a campaigner, fantasy novelist, and founder of Freedom TV. And Eugenijus Sabutis is Minister of Transport and Communications and an MP for the Social Democrats, the largest party of the coalition government. Your panel. Let us go straight to our first question.
Okay, so Urte, good evening. My question is regarding Greenland and Lithuania's position on it. Our new Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kęstutis Budrys, he said that we do not have an official position who to support, whether to support Denmark or the USA. In your opinion, who we should support and why?
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. That question about Greenland, of course, prompted by the most recent comments of the new president of the US, Donald Trump, that he would take Greenland. He had previously offered to buy it. This time he has suggested that he would take it because it is critical to US national security. Which side should Lithuania take and why? Andrius Tapinas, journalist.
I think this is the question that we have heard quite a lot of times during our lifetimes when we were small, and our older relatives asked us, who do you love more, mommy or daddy? And you always would answer both of them, and they would clap and pat you on the head and said, oh, what a diplomat. So I think this is exactly the position that we are. And to put ourselves in one camp, especially having in mind that the directions and the rules of the game are changing constantly, just ask Canada, ask Mexico, in order to understand what's going on with the new world with President Donald Trump, I think we first of all should evaluate what is our priority. And our priority is being safe from Russia. It's number one, it's the only one, strongest ever priority that our nation had. And stemming from this priority, we should try to form our foreign policy.
Thank you very much indeed. Ingrida Šimonytė.
Well, at the same time, we know that when it comes to our safety and security from Russia, we need all our allies, including Denmark, on board. I think that there are a couple of principles that we need to take into account. For small countries, principle of international law and principles of solving out whatever dispute in a peaceful manner, in a way of diplomacy, looking for solutions that are win-win to both sides that are discussing about anything, is the primary thing. Because if that fails, then we have a world that is governed by brutal force. And this is something that we do not want to see. But of course, in this situation, we also need to hear the problems that Donald Trump is picking up, because these are the problems we are talking about as well, as a rising appetite of China and Russia, not only in our region, but also in other regions, Arctic region.
Thank you very much indeed. Just a reminder in case anyone was unaware, Greenland is, of course, the sovereign and internationally recognized territory belonging to Denmark. Ignas Vėgėlė from the Farmers and Greens Party. In your opinion, which side should Lithuania take and why?
Yeah, I think that I'm sorry for the minister, how he was interpreted. Right. I think that it is not possible to say these kind of things to our neighbor Denmark, which is the closest neighbor of ours, because they have been unofficial friends when investing in the very beginning of the independence of Lithuania. They invested the more. They were like a bigger brother from Scandinavia. So probably we should, when we talk like this, we should think about the diplomacy. And the most important question is why I was very shocked by why the minister was not asked like that. Why Trump is doing like that? Why Trump is raising this question? Because Trump is, to be very straightforward, is a nearly deal maker. Yeah. So why he is doing that? And then when you answer why he's doing that, then you go with a proposal. That's it.
Thank you very much indeed, Minister of Transport, Eugenijus Sabutis.
Thank you.
Which side?
I think the question should be answered in this manner. We should take the side of international law. And of course, as a country, and our Minister of Foreign Affairs also should take his approach more slight, diplomatic approach, and politely remind, of course, not directly to Mr. Trump, but to the Secretary of State maybe, or other officials, that the approach of international law is the best approach.
Thank you very much. Urte, can I ask you what you think about the question you asked? So we'll get a microphone to you just in a moment. That's great. Thank you very much indeed.
We even discussed this question with some of the members here before this discussion started, and we thought that if we can let Trump to buy Greenland or take it by power, we may show Russia that they can do the same with the Baltic states. And that's why, in my opinion, we should support Denmark.
Thank you very much. I'd like to hear... I'd very much like to hear from the audience on this issue. Do pop your hands up if you have thoughts. I see gentleman over there in white. Sir.
Hi, name's David, and I think if the question is about independence of Greenland, if the people want it, I think it should be discussed. But taking it by force seems like we're just going back in time and bringing back colonialism.
Thank you very much indeed, and thank you to all of you. Let's go on to our next question, if we may, and it comes from Raminta.
Hello, my name is Raminta. I am 29 years old and quite happy person, so I wanted to switch our discussion a little bit to the lighter topic. So Lithuanian youth under 30 is said to be the happiest. What do you think is the main reason for this? And the second part, how can we keep this going? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Raminta. We have a lovely mixed audience here tonight, lots of young people here as well, perhaps slightly older up here on the panel. Eugenijus Sabutis, Minister of Transport.
The questions keep getting heavier and heavier. So sorry for that, because
this is a fairly light question, isn't it?
Yeah, you are 29, I'm almost 50, and well, as the time passes, well, I have no idea why you are so happy. It's, no. You know, my son is 19 years old. He's currently in the Lithuanian Armed Forces, and I am asking him, is he happy? He says, yes, I'm very happy. I'm asking, do you love your country? Yes, I do. I'm asking, do you want to leave this country? Why should I? But to answer frankly, Well, really, I have no idea.
We will definitely ask our audience why young people are so happy. Thank you very much. Ignas Vėgėlė from the Farmers and Greens Union.
In general, I'm very happy that they are happy. So that's the most important part. I would be even more happy if not only youth would be happy, but also the elderly would be happy, because socially, elderly people are really forgotten in this country, and unfortunately, we are spending more on many things, but the pensions are not rising together with the inflation. But in general, I think that they are happy because, and we all are happy because we are independent. We're happy because we are really better in economy than we were in 35 years ago. So definitely you cannot compare even to that. Culturally, we are much more happy that we are having much more Western culture. We are much more open, much more. And I would be very happy if we are happy, all of us, within 5 years also, without war.
Thank you very much indeed. Former Prime Minister Ingrida, Šimonytė.
Well, I turned 50 last autumn, and I very much understand why young people are happy in this country. Because when I was a teenager and I had 15 years of my life in previous system, I mean, the opportunities, the variety of choices of whoever you want to be, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to travel, and I mean, anything
this is after the Soviet Union
that is
collapsed.
important for. It is so abundant for current youth that, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Thank you very much indeed. Andreas Tapanas, journalist and author. Why?
I can pretty well understand why we are happy. We are free to travel. We are living in a country with its living standards. I'm sorry, but I will tell this, it's higher than in the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. And when we are coming back from the United Kingdom, we always see the big advantages that our country has in regards of cost of living, in regards of even public services. So that's why, and also the possibilities of making your dreams happen is faster here. It's easier here.
Thank you very much indeed. Enough of young middle-aged people talking. Let's hear from the audience if we could. What is the main reason that people under 30 are happy? I'm going to take the lady at the back there and then the lady at the front here. Madam.
Hello, so I am Liveta, I'm 22 years old, and while working in the youth sector, I can also say that as young people, we value the social protection, the social care that we receive. Also, education aspect is also very valuable in Lithuania. So, for example, higher education, it's easier to get into universities, and then our education is valued in other European countries. So
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Madam here, lady here.
Thank you for your comments. My name is Urta, and I want to argue a bit on the negative side of this. I think that we are surviving but not thriving, and we have learned this since Soviet Union times. I think that we live with the stigma to go and ask for mental health support because we're still stigmatized a lot. Our friends, LGBTQI+ are still not recognized and sometimes even thrown out of job places. And there's a lot of minus things around this. So I think that's we have a lot of issues to still meet to be
Thank you very
happy.
much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to our next question. Emilia.
Good evening. My name is Emilia. I am a primary school teacher, just started teaching, and I have a question. Should I prepare my students for a possible war, and how? Thank you.
Thanks, Emilia. Thank you very much indeed. We got a startling number of questions along this line about preparations for war, about having a bag ready for whatever might come. I'm going to ask, because I really want to hear from our audience as well, so I'm going to ask our panel to be relatively brief with their answers if they could. Former Prime Minister Ingrida, Šimonytė.
Well, I think it's better to talk with people, including children, about life, how it is. And you spoke about this bag, and there are even more emergencies that you should be prepared. For example, we have an unsafe nuclear power plant in Belarus. But I think it is important that children would understand that this country that we live in, we got it back very dearly, and more than once. And now you have your kids of the same age, 400 kilometers from where we live, who are suffering under bombardment every day and whose life is miserable. So I think it is important that kids would understand that, unfortunately, world is not just a place where it's safe and nice and sunny, and that bad things happen because bad people make bad choices.
Thank you very much indeed. Eugenijus Sabutis, Minister of Transport.
I slightly disagree. As I remember, when I was little, I was going to the school, and it was in the Soviet times. I was taught of the war. We had, some sport competitions, and we were throwing grenades. And I was prepared for war, not to defend country, but, to go to maybe some other country. This is not what you have to teach children. But if you teach about history, it's almost the history of wars. And who is the enemy? Who was the enemy? For 300, for 400 years, it's absolutely clear. Russian Empire, Moscovia, you can call it what you like, but it's the Rush.
Thank you very much indeed. Ignas Vėgėlė from the Farmers and Greens Union.
I think that we are speaking and we are lecturing to our small kids too much threats. Good governor takes the problems onto his table and solves them, and not threatens the people. What I would like you to teach, to be them happy.
Okay, Ignas, thank you very much indeed. Andreas Tapinas.
I think, of course, you have to teach them about history, but I think even more important to teach them about our society. To understand threats, but also not to give up hope. To understand that them from the very start that we are part of the biggest military alliance. We have never ever been in such alliance before, and this is the big privilege.
Okay, I want to hear from the audience if I can. Sir.
Good evening. My name is Renatas. I'm 28. And I agree that we need to educate young people in school to prepare for war, to prepare for threats. But we also need to revise the civic education, volunteering, NGOs, rifleman unions, scouts, other possibilities how young people from the age of 12, 14 can contribute to the society.
Thank you very much, sir. The question, of course, had two parts. It was not just should students be prepared for war, but how people should be prepared for war. Yes, you, sir.
There is a very beautiful Ukrainian book for kids, how to talk with kids about war. It's wonderful, and it's translated into Lithuanian, so that's already the solution. But to continue, as a proud owner of a gun, you can buy a gun yourself if you want to prepare yourself. Mm-hmm. Thanks to the government, we have pretty liberal guns law. And
you own a gun, and you are ready to...
I did it, but I started doing this process just immediately after Ukraine was occupied.
And this was in case war came to Lithuania?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not, making a step away from the country, not a centimeter.
Thank you very much indeed. Can I go back to Emilia, who asked the question about just what you've heard, but also what you do say to your students, who I think are quite young, primary school?
We talk about war quite a lot. They ask a lot, and they ask whether it will come or not. And then I try to talk with them about that, but in a way not to scare them, but to talk about first aid and to talk about how we could support Ukraine right now in order to postpone it maybe, or not have it here. And I think it's really important to talk, and I don't think that primary school students are too young.
Thank you, Emilia, and thank you to everyone who contributed there. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to our next question. It comes from Agnieszka. Agnieszka.
Hi,
hello.
My name is Agnieszka. As a queer person, I'm a second-class citizen in Lithuania. Unfortunately, I cannot get married. I cannot buy a flat with my girlfriend. I struggle legally. There's not a lot of protection against hate crime, discrimination, and my heart goes out to the trans community in Lithuania as well, who struggle even more by not getting the adequate health care. So my question is, when will this change? Because it must. I'm not asking for tolerance, I'm asking for my rights. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your question. Minister of Transport, Eugenijus Sabutis.
To answer this question, when will it change? I wanted to say you have to ask the politicians, but I think
you are a politician.
Yeah, but I think you think that you are entitled to all the rights that other citizens have. But unfortunately, and to answer your question correctly, I don't see, let's say, even slight possibility in next 4 years, to say frankly. So
thank you. Thank you very much. Ignas, Vėgėlė.
I think that the question it should have been already solved, and it's very easy to solve it. We have close ties relationship draft legislation that would solve the most important issues. But nobody wants to solve them because there are great financial income for the organizations and that would like to have this not nice relationship between the gays and between the heterosexual people. So I think from another point of view, you mentioned marriage. So marriage in Constitution is very clear. It said the marriage can be done between woman and man. That's very straightforward and clear.
Constitutions can be changed.
Yeah, but constitutions we have never changed. And then please listen to Professor Jokubaitis. He has thoroughly discussed the term of marriage, what the marriage is, from philosophy and from Christian terminology.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Andreas Tapinas.
What Mr. Vėgėlė is talking is total disgrace. I mean, but that's okay. What Mr. Sabutis is talking is even bigger disgrace, because he is a member of Social Democratic Party, which in all history is the supporter of human rights. Where did you go? Where did your promises went? What are you talking about? No chance. You are the biggest party. How can you talk about like that? And even the Conservative Party. I have also some good words. You were in, and I know that.
Ingrida hasn't even spoken yet.
Yeah, but I know that Ingrida is a supporter of human rights. But she didn't even manage, being a prime minister, to persuade the members of her own party to vote for civil union, not for the same sex marriages, even for a civil union.
Thank you very much indeed. Ingrida Šimonytė.
Thank you. So there is some skepticism in the society, should I say. But I know that in other countries that was the case too. And even in deeply Catholic countries, what happened when they approved the law? Even about marriage, I think, not just about partnership. Just the number of people who were against dropped to maybe 10% or something. Why? Because people suddenly understood that this has nothing to do with their lives. It's just important to the people who are LGBT community, who want to sort out their issues, and nothing changed in your life, so why should you worry? But some politicians want this to have an agenda. And this is the only agenda they have, because they don't have agenda on pensions, they don't have agenda on education, they don't have agenda on infrastructure. So why not have the scarecrow that you can show all the time, oh, it's gay who are coming and taking your children. So I've invested a lot into this issue, being center-right politician. This is not my DNA exactly, but it's very important for me personally. And the only reason I failed was that the Social Democratic Party did not support the law in the parliament. Now, I did not manage to pass the law, but I managed one thing. And I hope that might break the ice. Because when politicians cannot do something, then sometimes it's the courts that do it for politicians.
Agnieszka, can I hear from you, if I may, about what you've heard and what you think?
First of all, thank you for those who have a clear conscience and who have guilt about the situation in Lithuania, so thank you. No thank you for the people who are saying Christianity will tell us what to do and who we can love. Things move very slowly here, and I am tired of waiting, and I'm not that old yet. There are older people who have not had the time to get married, to be seen and to be loved, but you are loved, and even if this country doesn't say that loudly, I will say it for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. That is, I'm afraid, all we have time for with World Questions Lithuania at the splendid palace of the Grand Dukes. Next month we will be in India, but for now, thank you so much. Thank you.